The FBI says a scientist, a Chinese scientist, suspected of having a connection to China's military, he's a fugitive, and we believe he's holed up in the Chinese consulate in San Francisco. Now, the president has already closed the Chinese consulate in Houston. Will he close the one in San Francisco? State Department spokesperson Morgan Ortagus is back with us today. Morgan, I don't know whether you can predict this or not, but it sure looks likely that the president will close the San Francisco consulate. What say you?
Well, today we're just focused on the closing of the Houston consulate, the Houston Chinese consulate. No further policy actions to announce there, but it's important to note that at the State Department we have called Houston the epicenter of research theft for the Chinese Communist Party in the United States. You can look back to FBI Director Wray's speech on July 7th and Attorney General Barr's speech as well. Both of them, but especially Director Wray, has detailed how we have seen at least $1 billion in theft we're talking about research, we're talking about American intellectual property, we're talking about and this comes out of universities, this comes out of energy companies, technology companies. And so at the State Department, Mike Pompeo, under the leadership of President Trump, said enough of stealing our jobs, enough of stealing our research, enough of stealing our technology. You got to get out.
I'm sure you're aware of this, but Morgan Stanley, an investment firm in New York City, has cut off access to its organization from outside the United States by young Chinese people. They've cut them off. Now, that's quite a move, actually. Do you want to see other companies follow suit?
Well, what we want American companies who now operate as global companies to do is to put their values first. They need to look at the fact that we have places like Xinjiang, China, where we have at least 1 million Muslims in forced labor camps. The Department of Commerce came out recently with just this week, came out with a list of companies that are now on this list for making their products in these forced labor camps. And as some in the think tank community have pointed out, some very prominent American companies, your viewers can find this all online, use the products from these companies. So American CEOs who have business overseas need to be diligent. They need to make sure that their materials are not being produced from forced labor camps in China. So you need to put ethics first, you need to put values first, and realize who we're dealing with in a communist regime that puts people in camps, some of the worst stuff we've seen since World War II, simply for their faith. Now,
this afternoon, Secretary Pompeo is going to make a major speech. Is it going to outline the new Cold War, an aggressive, upfront, dynamic challenge to China? Is that what we're going to see?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Stuart. So the Secretary Pompeo is flying to California. He's on his way there right now. He will be at the Nixon Library, as you pointed out. And so what we're looking at is really a historic setting. We saw Nixon go to China, right? And we saw for Republican and Democrat administrations for 40 or 50 years now, we have tried appeasement, we've tried engagement, we have tried everything to get the Chinese Communist Party to join international organizations and to join the rules-based order that America put in place with our allies after World War II. What we are seeing under General Secretary and Chairman of the Chinese Communist Party, Xi, we are seeing that they no longer, it's now blatant, that they no longer care about democracy, freedom, values, about anything related to the rules-based order. So Pompeo will be getting what I think is probably one of the most monumental and most consequential speeches as his time as Secretary of State, where we will talk about how President Donald Trump changed how the world viewed China over the past 5 years, what we will expect coming forward. That means distrust and verify. That means demanding reciprocity in our relationship with China. You know, under the previous administration, we were all told that we were supposed to accept a world where the Chinese Communist Party would rise, would overtake America, and they would be the new world leaders, and we were trying to mitigate any sort of friction in that inevitable rise. President Donald Trump and Mike Pompeo have said, no, we are not taking that inevitability at face value. We're going to challenge that inevitability.
We'll be watching that speech for sure. Morgan Ortagus, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you, Stuart.